Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset again with a new episode. Jehovah's Witnesses, how they handle criticism. I've written down a quote I like, and I want to share it with you guys. Taking constructive criticism from others is required to get to the next level. So, this will be constructive criticism today. How they handle criticism. In general, not that good. So maybe we can change it a little bit today. We're gonna try. If you guys all watched the bunker videos of years ago, there was someone knocking 3 times on the door. Then there was a little bit of too much noise in the bunker. But they answered with 2 knocks. And then the outside answered with 1 knock. Some constructive criticism is if someone is knocking 3 times and you answered with 2 knocks, they know you're in there. So SWAT can also knock 3 times on the door. You never know who's on the other side of the door. So for the next time you make a video like the bunker video with SWAT raiding neighborhoods and houses and things like that, if you believe in it, make sure the first knock is already the secret knock. Then you know, hey, it's a JW on the other side, I can let it in. But all jokes aside, there's a lot of criticism about Jehovah's Witnesses. Inside the religion and coming from outside of the religion. Because we all remember when we are inside in the religion and a younger elder listened to a talk of an older elder and afterwards he gives him advice. I hope from the scriptures, but he gives him advice. How to give a better public talk. And we know there are videos about it, and that elder is first a little grumpy, but then he goes, oh yeah, okay, Jehovah and the angels and stuff like that. And always a biblical figure that also has gotten some advice. And then he does it the right way. That's theory. But in the real world, we all know how bad they take criticism from other people. Also, if you are criticizing something, constructive criticism on something, what can go better in the congregation or wherever you are, at the convention when you have to do stuff, things can be easier, can be quicker, you can get the lines shorter for the toilets of the convention, I don't know, but always when you express your ideas, it's always shoving, they always put it down. No, but we do it this way and you just have to follow Jehovah's orders and he's the head of the department and he wants it that way, so we do it that way. So they handle criticism not that well from inside, because if you ask critical questions, it's always not handled very well. So we can do better, guys, we can do better, I hope. So JWs, listen to this, because you can do better. But also, I believe if you can't take criticism, you have a big problem. Because it's human nature, when you were growing up as a JW, to always have to defend yourself. And JWs always take things personal. Or it is as an attack on them personally or an attack on God. But it isn't a personal attack at all. It's just about the collective, about the religion, about the leaders, about the teachings. Nothing to do with you personal. I'm not gonna tell you that you have to clean your house 2 times a week. I'm not gonna tell you you have to do this, but it's policy based. But JWs always feel threatened personally. And we have to fix that, because it isn't a personal attack. Things can go better. You can do better. Everyone wants to do better every day. I want to be a better person today than I was yesterday. So learn from criticism. Learn from people who hand out ideas, give you advice, that kind of stuff. Also, the outside criticism on Jehovah's Witnesses aren't received well. The governing body never apologized for the false teachings they did. Don't get children, people. Stay alive till 75. Don't follow higher education because Armageddon is coming. No one can tell when Armageddon is coming. But they are good in dishing out. Yeah, the Catholic Church shunned people, blah blah blah, in 1948. 4 years later, Jehovah's Witnesses introduced shunning, I believe in 1952. We laughed. I was still a Jehovah's Witness in that time. We laughed in 2016, 17, 18, I believe, because of the child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. And yeah, we are different. We are Jehovah's people. Doesn't happen in the truth. A few years later, till today, Jehovah's Witnesses are under the microscope for hiding a lot of child sexual abuse. So when there's criticism, I always noticed from outside that JWs are swinging around with random cherry-picked scriptures, also underneath my videos. There's no sitting on the fence. Either it's Jehovah or Satan. If they are getting criticized from the outside world, it's written in the Bible. We're getting persecuted. It's the last days of the last days. It's told in the Bible that we are getting the heat on us. It shows us that we are the only true religion. I always made another video about people who get persecuted who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses, far more than the few Jehovah's Witnesses. But for every scripture, and that's not the intent of my channel, I'm not going into every scripture, because for every scripture you guys who are Jehovah's Witnesses are bringing up, I can bring up a scripture who's the opposite, exact opposite of what you are sending me. It's just, what scripture do you want? 2 witness rule? They get criticized for that, for the 2 witness rule, but they're defending it with their lives. But I can also give you a scripture in the Bible who told us about a woman who was raped in the fields, went to the town, told about it, and the man gets stoned to death within minutes. No two witnesses. So it's just what you want to believe. But also take that criticism into your critical thinking. Because you get criticized from the outside. And the criticism is correct. There's a lot of things happening about shunning. People commit suicide, people lose their social network, people are getting into depressions. All of that because of one rule. There's a lot of heat now on the Jehovah's Witnesses for child sexual abuse. And that's fair. Because if someone is a child, is a pedophile or a predator on children, why you don't want to know who's in your congregation convicted for such a matter? Why has that name stayed secret? Why don't cooperate with the authorities? Because if a brother or sister is getting into jail because of his JW, you guys are on the front line. You are there within minutes. The governing body is flying to that country to get that person out of jail. But if someone criticized what's also a fact about child sexual abuse, then you don't want to cooperate anymore with the government. So you only want to cooperate if it's benefiting you, because you want someone out. But if it's not benefiting you, and there's reproach on God's name or whatever you want to call it, then you're going into the fight mode. Then you don't want to cooperate anymore with the authorities of that country. And that's a strange thing, because Romans 13 verse 1, let every person be in subjection to the superior authorities, because they are placed in position by God. So, if you want scriptures, people, you get a scripture from me, no problem. They are placed in their position by God, and you're in subjection of the superior authorities. If you're getting donations every year from the authority because you're a non-profit organization, that's welcome. But if that authority is questioning you about shunning policy, like in Norway, or they're revoking your status, or get you into court for child sexual abuse, then you aren't home anymore. So people, the governing body also gets criticized from the outside. Also from a few people inside the organization, but also outside of the organization. Because they are living on a compound, they lost all ties with reality, with all the suffering we have to do in society. They don't feel it, they don't experience it, because they are somewhere remote on a compound living their life, while the people out there are struggling. So, Psalm 146:3. Don't put your trust in human leaders. Human leaders. Human leaders who are crowned themselves to be kings in the next life. This scripture says all. Don't put your trust in human leaders. So it's normal that you criticize directions from your human leaders. Because with the beer thing, 100 years it was forbidden, now it's suddenly allowed. Stuff like that. They burn their hands on predictions when the end is coming. Now they're going all the other way. Paradise is delayed. So when the governing body is getting criticism, just think and just remember that the people who are on the outside have the best of interest in you guys. It's not personal. I'm not personally attacking anyone. I'm just giving you an opportunity to think for yourself. Because Romans 13:4 says, if you are doing what is bad, be in fear. So if you're doing bad things as a person, like child sexual abuse, you have to be in fear. Not only from God, if you still believe in God, but also from the authorities. And it's just normal that they question the policy of the Jehovah's Witnesses. That you bring forward the names of the people who are involved in child sexual abuse. That you cooperate with the authorities to see if that name of that person is in your secret database. Why don't you hand over your secret database to the authorities of all the people who are child sexual abusers? So don't feel threatened, people inside the Jehovah's Witnesses. Don't feel threatened. Don't take it personal. It's just to allow yourself to be critical thinkers. It's giving you an opportunity to think, hey, what is that person saying? Maybe I can learn something about it. Maybe you can make up your mind. Because, newsflash for JWs, a story has two sides on it. Not only the story you guys are telling yourself. I also saw it at the Serena Williams thing. She's a JW now. It's questionable what she's doing, going to parties, stuff like that. But now she was at the Olympics carrying a torch into the Olympic Stadium in the beginning of the Olympics. So we're not allowed to play sports. She can play sports and be JW. She can still, as a JW now, carry a torch into the stadium without consequences. And if you say something about it, and I saw some comments online about it, it's hypocrite, it's double standards, all that stuff, and it is, let's be honest. But the amount of JWs who are commenting on that matter, oh, you're just jealous, oh, Jehovah's Witnesses are being persecuted, and you can't stand it that we are Jehovah's people, and leave her alone, you can't judge her, whatever. You are the High Supreme Court of Judges inside the JWs. You have a master doctor degree in judging. But if someone has a little bit of critique on a certain matter, what's happening, on a double standard, clearly a double standard, you don't have to be JW to see that it's not right, that it's a double standard, and still you are feeling personal attacked by someone outside of the religion. You go into full fight mode. Instead of thinking, yeah, that's strange. I'm not allowed to play sports on a professional level. And yeah, carrying a torch is a pagan origin, has a pagan origin from the Greeks. It's a bit weird. Oh, I take my distance from it, or I don't comment on it. I don't react in the conversation. No, they are going full fight mode, Super Saiyan mode on everyone who has an opinion about something. So I hope with this we can have, how do you call it, constructive criticism on things, both ways. That would be nice, because so we can learn from each other. We see different points of view, and also a different point of view. You don't have to agree with it, but it allows you to think outside of the box. And for JWs, outside of your limited mind, because you only were focusing on one thing. It's like I see sometimes with the horses like this. They don't see much. They don't get distracted from other things. And I know you also think you're not one to be distracted, but it also limits your view. So if you lose that, you can view around yourself and make up your own mind. We don't want you to think differently. We want you to make a good, how do you call it? That you make a good judgment call, but that you have both sides, all the facts, and then you can make up your own mind. That's what we try to do with it. So don't take it personally, just let it sink in, process it, and think what you can learn of it. And if you don't want to learn anything about it, that's also good, but you have to try to let it sink in first. Don't fight if you hear something out of reaction, the natural reaction to just go against it. No, just process it first and see if there's truth in that opinion of someone else. Thank you guys for watching. See each other on the next episode.